Hey guys, this is Vocal Pineapple, and today we're going to be talking about Melissa Shield from the My Hero Academia movie. Hopefully you've seen the movie if you're watching this, since this contains spoilers from the movie. If you'd rather not be spoiled, follow me on Twitter at Vocal Pineapple and subscribe here to find out when my next anime-only video is going to be dropping. For those that are here for this though, let's hit that intro button and get started. In the My Hero Academia movie, we're introduced to David Shield in a flashback with All Might and him taking on villains in the States. David rides what I've called the All Might mobile, and All Might takes down the villains in spectacular fashion. David brags about All Might being a hero from America and Japan, and you can see that his eyes are full of passion whenever All Might is fighting crime. Eventually, we find out that David was All Might's suit designer, and he was also instrumental in equipping All Might with all manner of support items and whatnot. In the actual manga, we're shown that All Might did at one point rely on a lot of support items, but his Quirk would often break them, so he decided to just wear the suit and cape. Once we get to the actual iExpo Island, Deku and All Might meet Melissa Shield, which is, you guessed it, David Shield's daughter. She's a young pretty lady with blonde hair and blue eyes, and she wears a pair of red glasses and dresses pretty casually. She greets Deku and All Might and leads them to Professor Shield's lab, and she takes Deku to her own room to give him something. This is when we learn that Melissa is actually pretty much just like her dad in the way that she loves to develop support items that could be helpful to heroes. Being David Shield's daughter, obviously she's given some thought to what she could be able to design to help All Might, and because of how similar Deku and All Might's quirks are, she gives Deku a device that she calls the Full Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is a band that transforms into a glove that can withstand the force of All Might's punches times 3 theoretically, but it doesn't actually absorb that much damage. The Gauntlet does let Deku use 100% of his power with it on though, so it still is some very impressive technology. Throughout the movie, we see that Melissa is very passionate and she's very brave. She doesn't have a quirk, so her dream is to become someone just like her dad, which basically means that she wants to be the #1 support item specialist. Her not having a quirk becomes a minor plot point in the movie because there's several times where Deku is caught feeling bad for her or being overprotective of her because he's worried that someone without a quirk might get hurt due to the danger of the villains on the island. There's a really great scene with Melissa and Deku where a villain stabs Melissa in the arm and Deku sends him flying into a wall with Melissa's help. He says sorry to her for letting her get hurt as he starts to bandage up her arm, but Melissa replies to him and says, "You mean, thank you, right?" Deku looks up at her and she's looking right into Deku's eyes silently, with a smile on her face. This moment right here I think is the moment where a majority of people finally accepted Melissa, and it was the moment that started to make it seem like Deku x Melissa was actually maybe a shippable pairing for many. So without spoiling the rest of the movie, you know pretty much all about Melissa that you need to. She's a very talented support item designer, and she's won awards for some of her work. She's still a student, but she's clearly talented, and she's also a character that has roots in All Might's past, but also has potential roots in Deku's present now as well. So why make a video explaining who Melissa Shield is when the My Hero Academia movie has already come and gone? Well, there's a bit of back and forth on whether or not the My Hero Academia movie is canon. Horikoshi himself worked on it, and everything in the movie that we see, as well as like the prequel short manga that showed All Might and Nana Shimura with their fight with All For One, has all pretty much lined up with what we've been told goes on in the actual canon, and this is why I choose to see the movie as canon, but of course, I can see why some people, I guess, may feel like it isn't. For those of us that do though, one thing has to be asked. If My Hero Academia and the Two Heroes is canon, then what is Melissa Shield's place in the canon storyline? I'd like to think that we'll be seeing her character again one day, but when I think about it, I wonder what her job would actually be. For a long time, we've known that Mei Hatsume is probably going to be the one primarily helping Deku out with support items, as she's already given his suit multiple upgrades and new accessories. Mei seems to have a good understanding of what Deku needs to enhance the capability of his quirk, but she also has some genius level ingenuity that makes it so that she can invent things that even Deku himself isn't sure that he needs yet. When it comes to Mei and Melissa Shield, is there room for both? Which one of these two female support specialists is the right one for Deku? Well, I argue that there's actually room for both of them to operate. If you look at this like we're building the hero's party like in any good shonen RPG, then we can see Mei and Melissa as Deku support members, but their functions are actually quite different. You see, it's true that Melissa Shield can make various gadgets that are sure to be plenty helpful to Deku, but she's the daughter of a suit designer, so why not have her design Deku's full-on hero suit? I know you're thinking that Deku is never going to change his outfit all that much, and that's because he said that he'd like to stay true to his mom's base as much as possible. But what if Melissa Shield was the one to design his outfit? Melissa is involved with the whole One for All story, she's a precious friend, and it's sort of kind of what her family does. Having Melissa be Deku's David Shield makes a ton of sense, and we can even have her pass down whatever knowledge or data she has to Mei. After all, Melissa does have data in her lab on how One for All's power can affect different fabrics and minerals from her testing to create the full gauntlet. This would make it so that Mei Hatsume can sort of be the Tony Stark of the My Hero universe, but Melissa Shield can be the Shuri, or the other way around really, however you'd like. I think the best scenario would be for us to find Melissa Shield and maybe Toshi at Deku's house at the end of a semester or something, or near when it's time for him to graduate from UA into being a real pro hero. It'd be nice to see Melissa, Toshi, and Inko design a new suit for Deku together. What do you think about this? Do you think that Melissa should help design and create Deku's final pro hero suit, or do you think he should stick with the base that he's at all this time and stick to Mei's upgrades? Let me know in the comment section below and fill me in on everything that you're thinking. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and hit that subscribe button if you want to see even more of my content. Hit that bell icon to join my amazing league of notifications since I get the notifications whenever I upload. I've got some interesting videos on the way, so stick around right there for those and I'll be back with more. Peace.